What's up, fight fans? This is Curtiville with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Eddie Hearn, Anthony Joshua, and Canelo Alvarez. According to Eddie Hearn, he says that Anthony Joshua is a bigger global boxing star than Canelo Alvarez. And this is what Eddie has to say. He says, one of the plans we would have for Canelo right now is to expand his global profile. Okay, Hearns explained Canelo right now is boxing's biggest star in the U.S. without question, but is he the biggest star globally? I think the award goes to Anthony Joshua, to be honest with you. So I think we have to look into different markets and say, okay, how do we raise Canelo's profile globally? How do we take him to the Middle East, the Far East, Europe, London, and of course, there's Mexico. I know the ticket money isn't there at the moment, but can you imagine an event in Guadalajara? It would be absolutely nuts. It was great to see 12,000 fans back in the building in San Antonio. These people love him, so the plan is for him to box more frequently. Okay? He says, I think also a trilogy with Gennady Golovkin could happen one day, but at the moment, Canelo is focusing on the champions. In this period we're in at the minute, fighters have to do that. Wow. Look. A lot of people look at the title of this and they think that Eddie Hearn is trying to pin or compete Anthony Joshua against Canelo Alvarez, which is not the case. These are his plans for Canelo, and I think you have to be honest with the fighter instead of being the yes man or you're good, Canelo, and that kind of shit. You're the best. He might be the best, but at the end of the day, he does, if you think about it, Canelo does have to expand his global area. He has a whole country behind him. So did Manny Pacquiao, but Manny Pacquiao fought in Macau. Manny Pacquiao fought in the United States. He fought a lot of places. Australia. Okay, so Manny Pacquiao's Manny Pacquiao. Okay, the Canelo blueprint, I think, has to change if he needs to be that global guy, and he's good enough to do that. Imagine the same type of fight, him fighting Callum Smith with the electricity and the energy of the British public. Seeing someone like Canelo Alvarez. Canelo Alvarez would make the British fans respect him from the punching power, the speed, the skill, the ring generalship, and the overall finesse and fire of this red-headed champion. I think that could happen. As well as other places in the world, Japan, okay, Macau, China, those type of places. You could exploit him and expand him, and people would love him and know him other places because he's came there to honor the world championships. It's not all about the USA. And in fact, the USA, the biggest sport over here fighting-wise is UFC, not boxing. Okay? You have other sports that are bigger, right? Basketball, football. Those are big national sports. Boxing is a required sport here. It's not that premier sport in America, but in the UK it is. So you should give it to them. And see, since Joshua has fought in the US, even though he came up short and almost landed himself on the redemption list, he still came here to fight. Madison Square Garden, that's how you do it. I think Canelo Alvarez would really do well in the UK. And as well as any other place, Saudi Arabia. Joshua was in Saudi Arabia. He hangs out in France, Dubai, Spain. So he's that global guy that people know because it's in Europe. Okay, so those places, France, Spain, Italy. Those places like that, they're all in Europe. So he's known in that particular continent. Okay? So yes, I think Anthony Joshua, of course, is the bigger superstar. Okay, and then if you want to go as far as the money, okay, well, Canelo had problems with Golden Boy and DAZN, so they had to restructure his deal. So Canelo signed the biggest deal in history, but now it's not honored like he wanted it to Now it's being looked at differently. Now things are being taken away or adjusted, so to speak. Okay, you can't compare that to two fights. In two fights, you've made $100 million. You can't compare that, especially when you're fighting and scuffling over getting $20 million a fight. Okay, and you're not getting that no longer. Now it's restructured. Now you got to do something else. So that's derailed. Sure, if his contract would have stretched out to the full length, but this hasn't been the case. Okay, so money-wise, it's still Joshua. $85 million for a rematch fight when you're a challenger? Yeah, you can't beat that. On top of $10 million his last fight during a pandemic, right before a lockdown, you can't beat that. Okay, so Eddie Hearn's right. I think Canelo Alvarez would do very well in other parts of the world to represent the world instead of the Americas, if that makes sense. But anyway, what I've done, I want to know what you guys, your feedback on this whole ordeal, on your decision on who is the bigger superstar out of the two. So I'll let you guys vote. Leave your comments below, and we'll do a Q&A to follow up maybe tomorrow or the next day on who's the biggest superstar globally. Anyway, you guys tell me what you think. Please subscribe, and you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.